Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Technical Day Trader. Today we're looking at a day trade I had this morning, of course in our beloved FAS, which is the Direction Daily Financial Bull, and it's a triple leveraged ETF, which really helps out day traders. A lot of day traders play around in this ETF because of the fact that it can provide the moves where you can make money after defining your risk and things like that. And what I did was yesterday I attempted to do this, which was screen capture live as I was trading or as this rising wedge was forming. And I'm gonna just stop talking right now, and what I'll do is edit in that quick clip of what I was thinking before this trade worked out, and we'll do it right now. Hello, guys. We are looking at the FAS. Everything is very bullish this morning. We gapped up a little bit, and we have not stopped. It seems like price is searching out those S&P 500, the all-time highs for the S&P 500, and it's taken everything up with it. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for a chance to go in short on the FAS. We're already above resistance too, and I'm what I was looking at was what appeared to be potentially a rising wedge here. So if it can break this bottom support, I'm going to look to go in short on it. Right now, it's still materializing. I actually thought that it might happen sooner than I wanted it to happen when I was doing this little screen capture so I can teach the lesson later, but it doesn't seem like it's going to want to do it. But just as for right now, just to see it in real time, what I'm thinking here, I also just did a small snippet on Apple and its measured move this morning, going bullish on that. So we'll let this materialize, and I just wanted to be able to show you what I'm doing in real time, real quick. So that's pretty much it. We'll see you later. Okay, welcome back. It's a little weird for me because I'm going to have to edit that in, so I had to pause for a second. But let's take a look at this trade. Basically, this morning, it's obviously a record day. The Dow is finally hit its all-time high, and there's all sorts of euphoria, a lot of euphoria in the morning time. But again, we don't get involved in usually until 10:30. Today, I did make it a little bit of an earlier entry just because I was very confident in my reasoning of entering this trade. I've traded rising wedges before, and they usually work out, and it's usually a quick out, because what a rising wedge was, and when I was initially learning chart patterns, I likened it to like a water like a gardening water bucket. And what happens is price basically compresses just like it would with like an ascending triangle, but both lines are on a diagonal. And what it does is it compresses and it compresses, it compresses, and since the rising wedge is has very bearish implications. That was my first thing. I'm like, okay, I'm identifying this rising wedge. So now I'm looking for a way to get in going short, and being able to have a price target that I believe it will be able to reach. And since it's already extended during this rising wedge above our resistance 2 on the pivot points, usually stocks don't escape they don't have the velocity to escape either the second support on the pivot points and the second resistance. And if they do, they usually retrace back to it. So that was another thing going in my favor. So what I'm doing is I outlined, or I put the trend lines in for the rising wedge, and what I'm going to do is extend those trend lines all the way till they intersect. And that's where I know if this pattern is going to pay off like I think it will, like I think that it will end up which is a bearish fall after. Oh, market just closed. Either way, as price compresses, it usually goes out. When it does have a breakout, it's usually to the downside. So what I did was intersect those two trend lines, and I put my stop loss right above that. The reason being is, if it is what I think it is, if it goes above that intersection, it is not what I thought it was. It's not a rising wedge. The market has said, nope, not today, Zach. You're not going to get, that easy little short trade. So that's where I put my stop loss. And you'll see or actually you just saw in the little clip that I was not in the position yet when when I initially took the screen capture, but the intersection of these lines, you could tell that price was just bang, 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 and I was getting a little bit not anxious, but I needed to find a place to enter. So what I did was I looked at a line that was right near the very compression point of those two trend lines, and I landed on 158. That's where I entered, and I immediately set that stop loss up at 158.30, and that's a 30-cent difference from my entry. My target is going to be R2 because if this thing spills out, usually, and I say spill out because the rising wedge, I liken price to like water falling out of, like a pitcher or something like that. And it usually does kind of take on those characteristics. Once it breaks, it just kind of, like a little parabolic, exponential parabolic move. And I'm thinking that R2 is going to be hit if this follows my rules. So that was my target, and the target's at 157 flat. So right there, position short, I'm going to sell it at 158 with my stop loss at 158.30, right above those intersection of those trend lines. And my target is 157, which is the resistance to pivot point on the daily charts. And for this trade, my risk reward, it's not a ton, but hey, it's a high probability trade that worked out. So I got 3.3 to 1 on that. And here I did the little, this was my profit target in this green rectangle right here. This was my stop loss, so that was my loss target if it went against me. And, it went swimmingly. I also, for this lesson, just overlaid the MACD2 lines and did show that from the morning, I mean, there was such a bullish move early on. It's making higher highs as the MACD is making progressively lower highs. That's a divergence in the MACD that shows that the momentum indicators are rolling over. So I had a lot of things going in my way, and the trade worked out swimmingly. I mean, I was in and out of this thing within 15 minutes with a nice profit. So that's pretty much it for this trade. I believe I'm going to do another webinar on my Apple trade today, but we'll see how things go. All right, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.